The day after the XCC racing at Thaba Trails, Gauteng was showing off once more with an absolute beauty of a day for the XCO races. Tyler Jacobs was in the under-23 race this time. The elite women was a small field of 8 riders. A relaxed-looking Candice Lill was the outright favourite. As was Jacobs in the under-23s, they started 2 minutes after the elites. The elite women headed off on the first lap of 7, and Candice Lill went straight to the front, with Carly Skeepers and Lahani Oosthuizen following her as they charged along the fence line. Thaba Trails guru Wendell Bowl had prepared a 4.1 kilometre track with 125 metres of climbing per lap and plenty of good technical challenges. The under-23 race began at a similar pace. 6 riders all giving everything in pursuit of a good line into the rough stuff. Jacobs led through the gate. The junior women were to do 5 laps, and Nadia van Wyk was hunting a second title after a win in the XCC. But the field was deeper with 10 riders in the mix as they set off a few minutes after the under-23s. Van Wyk led Erin Mackridge, then came Jodie McKinnon and Abby van Schalkwyk. Candice Lill wasted little time in taking control of the elite race. Her first lap was 12 minutes and 58 seconds. The next best was just under 3 minutes slower. Candice is at the top of her game, and it was important for her to return to South Africa to try and win the national champions jersey. Tyler Jacobs was in a similar situation with a busy racing and travel schedule. Time zones crossed and jet lag handled, she was bossing the under-23 race. Tyler was 6th in both under-23 World Cup races in Brazil, a super start to her time with the big Live Factory racing team. Carly Skeepers was going well in 2nd. The BSc Quantitative Risk Management graduate is a versatile rider. She completed her first laps at Cape Epic this year and is a national under-23 Criterium road champion. Junior Nadia van Wyk was sharp and focused through the rocks. The junior Jodie McKinnon handled the drop-off no problem. Robin Chapman was cautious but clear, as Erin Mackridge came flying up behind her. Not so lucky was Sophia van Wyk, who lost her front wheel and went down. No serious damage to bike or body, Sophia managed to finish the race. She, like so many of the young riders in the country, are looking up to the brilliant Candice Lill, who, despite not being on a big international factory team, has shot to the top of the sport. The manner in which he's handled the highs and lows has been truly inspiring for all, including youngsters Julia Marks and Nadia van Wyk, and the older riders like Lahani Oosthuizen, who shared the track with her at Thaba Trails. Tyler Jacobs is seemingly following in Candice's pedal strokes on the international scene. The hidden mountain biking gem of Summer Place in the Waterberg has 160 kilometres of trail, and the skilled Lillian Baber knows them all. 4 times a bronze medalist at the national champs, Riley Smith was in 3rd in the under-23 race. Jacobs picked perfect lines through the Balwin boulders. Candice Lill was on a single-minded mission at Thaba Trails as she ticked off laps with smooth skill and perfect timing. Over 7 laps, the differential on her lap times was just 16 seconds. Her fastest lap was lap 2 and her slowest lap 5. Jodie McKinnon was in 3rd in the junior race, and Robin Chapman was a little further down and going well. Like Lill, with whom she won the FNB Wines to Wales last year, Tyler Jacobs was all business and efficiency. The inspiring Lechecho Zulu was doing an amazing job in her first XCO Nationals. Back with the under-23s and second behind Jacobs was Lillian Baber. With the 3 age groups on the course all doing different distances, there were moments when the juniors and under-23s got to see firsthand just how good and classy Candice Lill is. Years and years of dedicated training, and she's still working hard to improve her technical riding. While she didn't post a sub-13-minute lap, Jacobs was the only one of the under-23s to go under 14 minutes every lap. Another highly professional young rider looking to get the very best out of her training. It's a long road to the top for Candice, and her sponsors have stood by her throughout. Efort, Seattle Coffee, Roller Toyota and King Price, providing her with the support she needs to get there. Nadia van Wyk was heading towards the finish in the junior race, and Tyler Jacobs was putting the finishing touches to another outstanding ride. Jodie McKinnon, a Discover Sport ambassador and matriculant at Thomas More College in KZN, lying in 3rd in the junior race. Ashley Kutzer was in 10th, while Robin Chapman had worked her way determinedly up to 5th. Candice Lill rolled through the finish line for her bell lap, the last of 7, and she'd lapped all her rivals. while Tyler Jacobs was on her way through the traffic and heading for another national title in the under-23 women's race. She found her way past lap Carla Kotze and junior Nadia van Wyk to take a hugely impressive solo win. Nadia van Wyk finishing just behind her in the junior race. 6:02 Erin Mackridge just off the podium in the juniors, and Mika Janssen van Rensburg was 9th. Out on the course, a composed Candice Lill was ensuring there were no late surprises or problems. Second place Carlise Skeepers was under pressure from Marty's rider Julia Marks. Ever smiling Letshogo Zulu digging deep, she was in 5th place. What a ride. Candice was a junior world championship bronze medalist and has won countless national titles in cross country and marathon. She is the very best South Africa has produced, and she showed us why at Thaba Trails with another consummate ride to glory. Redemption after losing out to Tyler Jacobs in the XEC a day earlier. And she still cherishes every win.
I would say that even if it's a lot of times, it's still nothing you can take for granted. So it's really, really cool to win here today. In 3 weeks, I'm going to go to the first European World Cup, the third World Cup of the year, and then it's a big Europe stint. I'll be there till mid-July, doing a few World Cups, and I'm really, really excited for that.
It is kind of a box tick, but I mean, it's something great to have, to be able to race in your national jersey is something very special.
The men's XCO race was next. Johan van Zyl was hoping to add the title to his XEC jersey. The defending champion was Michael Foster, and Arnaud du Toit has been in prime form all year. Who was going to ride themselves into the coveted national champions jersey at beautiful Thaba Trails? The 16-rider field were to do 8 laps of the 4.27 kilometre track, adding up to 33.6 kilometres with 1,000 metres of accumulated climbing. Van Zyl of Toyota Specialized was the early aggressor and took them out at a serious pace. Jaden Turler was on his wheel with Jan Vitar and Turler's teammate Foster following a few metres back. Unati Ngumalo had made a good start. He was just off the back of the lead group as they crested the top of the climb. The big under-23 field charged away from the start. 23 riders, some in their first year in the age group, others looking to finish their under-23 careers with a national title. Plenty at stake. Ernie Roots in black led up the climb with Daniel van der Walt on his wheel and Massi Ambrosi in third, followed by Luca Ruweel. Herman Fourie of Titan Racing digging deep to catch the lead group. That was a tough task. The 6 leaders were determined to thin out the contenders early on. Van Zyl had the bit between his teeth in the men's elite race. Then came Luke Moyer, Michael Foster, Jan Vitar, Phil Bass and Arnaud du Toit. Marlow was super smooth through the technical stuff. Then it was the under-23 train. Summer places Ines Dupree leading Massi Ambrosi and Ernie Roots. Looking for a chance to pass Van Zyl, Foster was piling on the pressure as the pair led the elite race. And a small gap to the second group of Vitar, Bass, Moyer and Arnaud du Toit. Moyer feeling the effects of a punishing schedule now. Massi Ambrosi was all in at the front of the under-23 race. He and Dupree and Roots had escaped the rest of the contenders. Luca Ruweel was back from racing in Brazil and had a few seconds on Johan Fourie de Villiers. Deeper into the race and Michael Foster was away on his own. His third lap of 11 minutes 1.46 seconds was the fastest by any rider in the race and put him at the head of proceedings. Johan van Zyl's early aggression had been tempered. He was starting to lose time to the chasers. The insect science pair of elder statesman Jan Vitar and Arnaud du Toit. A telltale sign of fatigue from Luke Moyer as he looked back. No bottle from Dad Mark, Luke was on a mission. After a good start, there was disaster for multiple champion Phil Bass at Paiga Eurosteel on lap 4. His back tyre disintegrated and ended his hopes of another win. It was a run back to the tech zone. Euromania's Daniel van der Walt gained a place as a result. The Paiga crew did a great job to replace the tyre, but the lap was 15 minutes for Bass, and it was all about pride now for the former Olympian. But Paiga Eurosteel had other irons in the fire. Michael Foster was busy showing that his win a year ago was not a once-off. Jan van Zyl was starting to look a little tired. Bass had the insect science pair on his wheel. Luke Moyer was further down the field, just not able to go deep after all his travels and top-class racing across the Atlantic. Foster appeared to have a handy lead, but Van Zyl second place was in jeopardy from base and the Kings of Neon pair. Sadly, it wasn't to be a day for Luke Moyer. The first-year elite will live to fight another day. He'll have many opportunities to win the jersey in the future. Foster was flying. Another seriously fast lap. Arnaud du Toit enjoying the form of his life in both marathon and XCO racing this year. And Van Zyl was deep in the hole. A fresh bottle would go some way to getting him back on pace, perhaps. Moyer was in a similar position. This time he did take a bottle. Marcy Ambrosi was leading the under-23 race now after a race fastest 11 minutes and 13 second third lap. Luca Ruweel was a solid 21st and 23rd in the opening 2 rounds of the under-23 World Cups in Brazil. As a young boy at Linford School in Ikopo, Michael Foster handed out cold drinks at the finish line of the Cup Sani to see. Here at Thaba Trails, he was handing out punishment as he led the field. Arnaud du Toit hadn't been on an XCO National Champs podium for close on 10 years. He was the African champion in 2017. He was enjoying a renaissance. At 43, Jan Vittar was simply superb in third. Foster, though, was all class, smooth and efficient on the technical terrain, and powerful on the flat stuff. Ambrosi was equally dominant in the under-23 race as he made short work of the switchback descent. Lap rider Jade DeSanti was down in 18th place, and he was soon to be passed by the elite leader Foster. Runner-up to Luke Moyer last year, Massimiliano Ambrosi duly ticked a huge box in winning the under-23 title. Ignatius Dupree of Summer Place took second and Luca Ruweel in third place.
What a race today was. This was one of my biggest goals of the season, if not my biggest goal of the season, was coming into SA Champs with some big dreams and big aspirations, and I couldn't be happier to tick this off and finally make this happen and get those stripes.
And a few minutes later, it was 2 in a row for Michael Foster, Piga Eurosteel. Arnaud du Toit rolled back the years to take second, 48 seconds behind Foster. And Insect Science had 2 in the top 3 with Jan Vittar in third for a great result for one of the most committed riders in the sport. It was a family celebration for the champion Michael Foster, a winner again.
Yeah, we planned, Ben we planned to sort of just stick with the front group until the last 2Ks, and then if there's fatigue in that group, then try and hook it and send it solo. Yeah, but I ended up totally going against that tactic today, and I decided just to go early. There's a few gaps in the field, so it was a good opportunity to just take it in my own, with my own brain, and and just do what I want.
And a lot certainly worked a treat for Michael. CSA MTB director Paula D'Ameliano handed Michael his champion's jersey, ending a truly superb weekend of mountain biking at Thaba Trails at the South African XCC and XCO Championships, powered by Balwin Properties and Balwin Sport, and presented by Cycling South Africa and Gauteng MTB.